The Zeta Horizon research station hung suspended in the turbulent atmosphere of Cronus 9, a gas giant with winds that could shred conventional spacecraft in seconds. Commander Maya Rodriguez studied the holographic display, her dark eyes narrowing as another warning flashed across the screen. 3 of her top xenobiological researchers had gone silent during a routine atmospheric sampling mission. "We're not leaving anyone behind," she muttered, her voice a steel whisper that cut through the bridge's ambient noise. Beside her, Lieutenant Daniel Chen worked frantically at the navigation console. The alien observation team from the Valerian Cooperative watched with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Their lead observer, a crystalline being named Zarlok, had already calculated a 97.3% probability of mission failure. "Humans always overestimate their capabilities," Zarlok transmitted through the Universal Communication Array. The translation matrix rendered his thoughts in a clinical, almost dismissive tone. "The atmospheric conditions are beyond any known rescue parameters. Your team will be destroyed before reaching the research pod." Maya didn't even turn to acknowledge the statement. Her fingers flew across the holographic interface, recalibrating the quantum shield harmonics of the rescue vessel Quantum Resolve. The ship was an experimental craft, designed to withstand extreme atmospheric conditions, but this would be its first true test. "Team, prepare for quantum phase insertion," Maya commanded. Her crew moved with practiced precision, each member understanding the stakes. Dr. Elena Rodriguez, no relation, but sharing the same fierce determination, checked the quantum stabilization gear. Marcus Wong, their chief engineering specialist, ran final diagnostics on the atmospheric penetration shields. The Valerian observers continued their analysis. Zarlok's crystalline form shifted, projecting multiple probability matrices that all concluded in catastrophic failure. Humans, in their experience, were impulsive, emotional, and fundamentally limited by biological constraints. What they didn't understand was the fundamental nature of human resolve. The Quantum Resolve began its descent into Cronus 9's violent atmosphere. Winds that could generate pressures capable of crushing titanium alloy hulls buffeted the ship. Normal vessels would have been torn apart instantly, but this was no normal vessel, and these were no ordinary humans. Maya's voice remained calm, almost meditative. "Quantum phase stabilization at 62%. Shield harmonics holding. We're maintaining structural integrity." The ship wasn't just resisting the atmosphere, it was dancing with it. Each violent wind current was anticipated, calculated, and redirected. It was a performance of engineering and human intuition that defied every known scientific prediction. Zarlok's probability matrices began to destabilize. The mathematical certainties that had defined his understanding of survival were crumbling with each passing moment. "Approaching research pod location," Daniel reported. "Atmospheric interference is maximum. Quantum resonance at critical levels." Maya nodded. "Initiate quantum phase rescue protocol. We're bringing our people home." The mission had just begun, and already it was rewriting the understanding of what was possible. The Quantum Resolve vibrated with an intensity that would have destroyed conventional spacecraft, yet Maya Rodriguez maintained her composure. The ship's interior hummed with a delicate balance of quantum mechanics and human determination. As they penetrated deeper into Cronus 9's atmospheric layers, the research pod's distress signal grew increasingly fragmented. Marcus Wong hunched over his console, his fingers dancing across holographic interfaces with a precision that seemed to defy the violent environment surrounding them. "Structural integrity at 73%, he called out. "Atmospheric pressure is exponentially increasing. We're experiencing quantum phase distortions that shouldn't be possible." Dr. Elena Rodriguez analyzed the incoming data streams. "The atmospheric composition is changing faster than our sensors can interpret. It's like the planet itself is actively resisting our rescue attempt." Zarlok, the Valerian observer, continued to track their progress with increasing bewilderment. The crystalline entity's probability matrices had been completely shattered by the humans' approach. What should have been an impossible mission was unfolding with a level of adaptability that challenged everything in the cooperative scientific understanding. Quantum shield recalibration required, Daniel Chen announced. His hands moved with a musician's grace, adjusting complex systems that would have overwhelmed most species. Initiating adaptive resonance protocol. Maya watched the team work, a subtle smile playing at the corner of her mouth. This was more than a rescue mission, it was a dance with the impossible. The research pod came into visual range, suspended precariously in a pocket of turbulent atmospheric currents. Dr. Karina Singh and her two colleagues were trapped within, their life support systems gradually failing. The pod's exterior was being systematically stripped away by winds that could generate pressures capable of crushing diamond. Quantum tether preparation, Marcus called out. It was a technique they had developed specifically for impossible rescues, a method of creating a temporary quantum entanglement that could momentarily stabilize their position. Zarlok transmitted its observations to the Valerian Cooperative. The mathematical precision of human adaptation was unlike anything in their records. Where other species would have calculated the impossibility and retreated, these humans were transforming the impossible into a mere technical challenge. Quantum tether locked, Daniel confirmed. Initiating extraction sequence. The next moments would define the mission's success or failure. The quantum resolve had to maintain its quantum phase while creating a stable extraction corridor for the research pod. It was a maneuver that pushed the boundaries of known physics. Dr. Elena Rodriguez monitored the biological signatures of the trapped researchers. Oxygen levels critically low. We have a 17-minute window before complete system failure. Maya's voice remained calm, a beacon of certainty amidst chaos. We'll bring them home in 16. The ship began its most complex maneuver yet, a quantum phase realignment that would create a momentary pocket of stability within the planet's violent atmosphere. It was a technique that existed only in theoretical papers, now being executed with breathtaking precision. Zarlok observed in pure scientific fascination. The humans weren't just surviving, they were reimagining the very concept of survival. The quantum extraction process pushed the quantum resolve to its absolute limits. Marcus Wong's console erupted with warning signals, cascading system failures that would have caused any other species to abort the mission immediately. We're losing quantum stabilization, he shouted, sweat beading on his forehead. Atmospheric pressures are generating quantum interference beyond our predictive models. Maya Rodriguez stood firm, her posture a testament to human determination. The ship groaned around them, a living entity fighting against the most hostile environment imaginable. The research pod hung in a delicate quantum tether, its survival balanced on a razor's edge of human innovation. Zarlok's crystalline form pulsed with analytical energy. The Valerian observer had long since abandoned its initial probabilistic calculations. What was unfolding defied every known scientific understanding of survival and rescue operations. Structural integrity at 42%, Daniel Chen reported, his voice steady despite the critical situation. Quantum shields are fragmenting. Dr. Elena Rodriguez worked furiously, her fingers flying across multiple holographic interfaces. I'm detecting quantum resonance anomalies. We can use the planet's own atmospheric energy to stabilize our extraction corridor. It was a desperate gamble, using the very environment that threatened to destroy them as a source of salvation. The research pod containing Dr. Karina Singh and her two colleagues was barely visible through the turbulent atmospheric currents. Their life support systems were minutes from total failure. Every second counted, and the margin for error was non-existent. Initiating quantum resonance adaptation, Elena called out. It was a technique that existed only in theoretical papers, using quantum entanglement to redirect the planet's most destructive energy. Maya's voice cut through the chaos. Full quantum cascade. Now. The ship shuddered, a living thing fighting against impossible odds. The atmospheric winds that could crush titanium hulls bent around the quantum resolve, redirected by a quantum field that defied conventional physics. Zarlok transmitted observations to the Valerian cooperative. The humans were not just surviving, they were transforming the very concept of survival. Where other species would calculate and retreat, these humans were rewriting the laws of possibility. Quantum tether stability at 23%, Marcus warned. We're losing cohesion. Dr. Elena Rodriguez made a split-second calculation. Reroute all emergency power to quantum stabilization. We're going to create a quantum tunnel through the atmospheric layers. It was madness. It was impossible. It was quintessentially human. The ship's systems screamed in protest. Quantum fields began to tear at the very fabric of molecular structure. But where any other species would have broken, the human team pushed forward. Daniel's hands moved with surgical precision. Quantum tunnel initiated. We have a 90-second window. The research pod began to move, pulled by an impossible quantum tether that defied every known law of physics and survival. Maya Rodriguez watched, her eyes reflecting a calm that came from something beyond mere training. It was a determination that ran deeper than scientific calculation, a fundamental belief that impossible was just a word waiting to be challenged. We're bringing them home, she said quietly. Zarlok's quantum matrix began to understand something profound about human nature, a quality that couldn't be measured by probability or reduced to mathematical equations. It was something more fundamental. Something that defied explanation. The rescue was far from over. The most challenging moments were yet to come. The quantum tunnel created by the quantum resolve was unlike anything in known scientific records. It wasn't just a path through the hostile atmosphere of Cronus 9, it was a testament to human creativity under extreme pressure. Dr. Elena Rodriguez's hands moved with a musician's precision, manipulating quantum fields that barely maintained structural integrity. Quantum resonance is holding, but we're operating at the absolute edge of theoretical physics, she reported, her voice a mixture of scientific excitement and pure concentration. Marcus Wong's engineering expertise was being pushed to its absolute limits. The ship's systems were cannibalizing themselves, routing power through impossible pathways. We're burning through our quantum reserves, he called out. We need an alternative power source. Maya Rodriguez's mind was already several steps ahead. The research pod containing Dr. Karina Singh and her colleagues hung in the delicate quantum tether, their survival dependent on a technology that existed only in the most speculative scientific papers. Initiate quantum adaptive energy conversion, Maya commanded. It was a technique they had developed in top-secret research facilities, a method of converting the planet's own destructive energy into a sustainable power source. Zarlok, the Valerian observer, watched in pure scientific fascination. The humans were doing more than surviving, they were transforming the very concept of survival. The atmospheric currents of Cronus 9 were unlike anything encountered in known space. Winds that could generate pressures capable of crushing diamond were being redirected, channeled, transformed. The quantum resolve wasn't just resisting the environment, it was communicating with it, finding harmony in chaos. Daniel Chen's navigation skills were pushed beyond their limits. Quantum tunnel stability is fluctuating, he reported. We're losing cohesion in the lower atmospheric layers. Dr. Elena Rodriguez made a breakthrough. I'm detecting quantum harmonics in the atmospheric energy patterns. We can use the planet's own quantum resonance to stabilize our extraction corridor. It was a moment of pure scientific inspiration, finding order in seemingly random destruction. The research pod began to move, pulled by a quantum tether that defied every known law of physics. Inside, Dr. Karina Singh and her colleagues watched in a mixture of terror and awe as their rescue unfolded. Marcus's console erupted with warning signals. We're losing quantum shield integrity. We need to redistribute energy immediately. Maya's voice remained a calm center in the storm of technological chaos. Adaptive quantum redistribution protocol, she commanded. Reroute all emergency systems. The ship responded like a living organism, quantum fields reshaping themselves, finding new pathways of energy transfer that shouldn't have been possible. Zarlok's crystalline form pulsed with analytical energy. The probability matrices that had once predicted certain failure were now completely irrelevant. These humans were rewriting the very understanding of survival and technological adaptation. Quantum extraction at 78% completion, Daniel reported. The research pod was moving, inch by impossible inch, through an atmospheric nightmare that would have destroyed any other rescue attempt. Maya Rodriguez watched the progress, her eyes reflecting a determination that went beyond mere scientific calculation. It was a fundamental belief that impossible was just a word waiting to be challenged. The rescue was entering its most critical phase. The line between success and catastrophic failure was razor-thin. The final moments of the rescue mission balanced on the knife's edge of possibility. Quantum fields flickered and warped around the quantum resolve, creating a bubble of survival in an environment that should have crushed them instantaneously. Quantum shield integrity at 12%, Marcus Wong called out, his voice tight with concentration. We're burning through our last energy reserves. Dr. Karina Singh, finally in communication with the rescue team, provided critical information about the research pod's internal systems. Our life support is failing, she reported. We have less than 10 minutes of oxygen remaining. Maya Rodriguez's mind raced through 1,000 potential scenarios. The atmospheric layers of Cronus 9 were becoming increasingly volatile, with quantum disruptions that threatened to tear the ship apart at the molecular level. Initiate quantum adaptive survival protocol, she commanded, a plan forming with lightning speed. Daniel Chen's hands moved across the navigation console with surgical precision. We're creating a quantum resonance tunnel through the most unstable atmospheric layer, he reported. It was a maneuver that existed only in the most speculative theoretical papers, redirecting the planet's destructive energy to create a momentary path of survival. Zarlok, the Valerian observer, transmitted continuous data back to the cooperative. What was unfolding defied every known scientific understanding of rescue operations and survival. Dr. Elena Rodriguez made a breakthrough. I'm detecting a quantum harmonic frequency in the atmospheric energy patterns, she shouted over the ship's increasing structural stress. We can use the planet's own quantum resonance to stabilize our extraction corridor. The ship groaned, a living entity fighting against the most hostile environment imaginable. Quantum fields bent and warped, creating impossible pathways through layers of atmospheric chaos. Quantum tether stability critical, Marcus warned. The ship's systems were cannibalizing themselves, routing power through pathways that should have been impossible. Maya's voice remained a calm center in the technological storm. We're bringing everyone home, she stated, not as a hope, but as an absolute certainty. The research pod began to move with increasing speed, pulled by a quantum tether that defied the laws of physics. Inside, Dr. Karina Singh and her colleagues watched in a mixture of terror and hope as their rescue unfolded. Oxygen levels critical, the pod's internal system warned. 6 minutes remaining. Daniel Chen's navigation became a dance of quantum mechanics and human intuition. Creating quantum tunnel, he reported. Redirecting atmospheric energy. The quantum resolve began to transform. It was no longer just a ship, it was a living testament to human innovation. Quantum fields reshaped themselves, finding pathways of energy transfer that should have been impossible. Zarlok's crystalline form pulsed with pure scientific fascination. The humans weren't just surviving, they were reimagining the very concept of survival. Quantum extraction at 92% completion, Daniel reported. The research pod moved through an atmospheric nightmare that would have destroyed any other rescue attempt. Maya Rodriguez watched the progress, her eyes reflecting a determination that went beyond scientific calculation. It was a fundamental belief that impossible was just a word waiting to be challenged. The rescue was in its final, most critical moments. Everything, the lives of the research team, the future of human-alien cooperation, the very understanding of survival, hung in the balance.